Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is really fun because it is a full review with in-depth details on the Elvie pump. So I mentioned this pump in one of my recent vlogs, and I also got a chance to work with Elvie for Instagram, and I got a ton of questions about how it works, different details of the pump, and just asking for my thoughts in general on it. So I'm super excited to be doing this video to go more in depth on it with you guys. Elvie is sponsoring today's video, so thank you to them so much for working with me on this. But in today's video, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about the pump, what you get with it, how it works, why I love it so much, why I'm using it, and yes, I truly am using it. This is the only pump I've really used this pregnancy around, and it's been amazing. I'm a huge fan. So if you guys haven't heard of Elvie, what it is it's this hands-free breast pump that, yes, is completely hands-free. So the way you see me holding it right now, this is exactly how it works. You can just put it in your bra like this, and it will sit like this and pump, so you truly are hands and cord free. First, to give you guys a little bit of backstory on my breastfeeding journey and just how breastfeeding in general works for me, because everybody's a little bit different. I am currently on my second breastfeeding experience. I just had baby boy number 2 6 weeks ago, and with my first son, I breastfed him until he was 15 and a half months old. Around 1 month, I started working in bottles and pumping, and when I went back to work at 4 months postpartum, I regularly had to pump to give him milk while I was working. I learned the first time around that when you are a breastfeeding mom and a pumping mom, or an exclusively pumping mom especially, but if you are a nursing mother, you spend a lot of your time breastfeeding and pumping. And so you want a pump that is going to make you really comfortable, that's going to be really convenient and make your life easier, because it's a commitment. I always say that breastfeeding feels like a full-time job in itself, and I was really surprised to see like how long I had to carry my pump around with me, and just how it was such an extra component of everything I did. Anytime I went to the office, I had to make sure I had my pump and my batteries and my cord and all the parts and the flanges and everything, and it was quite a hassle to have to make sure I had all of these things, and I was set up for success for pumping to make sure I could bring milk back for my baby. I'll get more into that in detail in a little bit, but that is why I love this hands-free pump so much. So fast forward to this baby, and I knew I wanted to breastfeed again, I knew I'd be pumping again, and I knew I would spend a lot of my time pumping, learning from my first experience. So I wanted a pump like this that would be hands-free and make my life a little bit easier. Like I said, I'm 6 weeks in, and I have been exclusively breastfeeding this whole time. We started working in bottles at the 1 month mark this time around too, but I actually started pumping sooner with this baby because I knew I wanted to start building my milk supply and building my stash in my freezer. So I started pumping a few days postpartum. I had a lot of milk and I needed to relieve some of that pressure, but I also just wanted to not have to worry about my freezer stash. So I started pumping a few days postpartum. I've got like 100 or 106 ounces in my freezer right now. And then Arlo, my son, has been having bottles occasionally too. So I'm very fortunate that I have a healthy milk supply. It's not an oversupply. It's just like healthy, and I have a little bit of extra if I need some. So like I said, I knew I wanted something that would help me with convenience, with portability, and just with ease of use this time around when it came to a pump. I was really intrigued by these hands-free pumps. I was so excited to have the chance to work with Elvie and to get my hands on one of these, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm not just saying this when I say that this thing has been life-changing. So I'm going to walk you through the reasons why I love it, but just know if you're interested, I will have a link in the description where you can check out Elvie yourself, as well as a coupon code. You can use my code right here. That will save you 15% off through the end of the month of May too. So reason number 1 why I love this pump is because it truly is hands-free. With my previous pumps, I had a couple different kinds, but they were always the kind that would either plug into the wall, which is anything but hands-free. You're stationary. You can't move. You're plugged into the wall. You have these tubes coming out of you. It very much made me feel like I was a cow, like I was being milked, because I would have to sit down and pump, and I was often upstairs in the bedroom, and I would be pumping and away from my son and my husband, and like, or away from family, whoever was visiting. Like, it felt like a very like, oh, I need to go pump, I need my privacy for this kind of thing. Then I was able to unplug the cord, and I got batteries for my pump, but it still had the long tubes coming out, so it's still wasn't the most like comfortable for me to pump around people. Your nipples are going through the flanges, so you see like you're showing your nipples to people if you're pumping around them. I also often would need to pump at the end of a work day on the way home from work. Say I had a longer stretch while I was in the office and I really needed to pump on the way home, I would have my pump with me and I could do that, but like then you're literally driving with everything out as well. And like, so anybody that pulls up next to you, you just feel very vulnerable. So I love that I can stick the Elvie in my bra and you literally don't see it at all. It's also really discreet and really quiet, so you really don't hear it. I can wear this around my husband and he'll have no idea that I'm pumping. Anybody that I'm around has no idea that you're pumping. The little lights will show through your shirt a little bit, and that's the only way you can tell that something is in there. I mean, it does make your chest look a little bit bigger too, but I'm gonna insert a clip of me wearing it underneath my shirt to show you guys just how discreet it is. I'm a fuller chested person to begin with, so I'm used to my chest sticking out anyways, but if you wear a looser top or wear a layer or a jacket or something, you could absolutely wear this out in public, wear it to the store. I wear this in the car oftentimes. So recently on Instagram, I talked about how the boys had a doctor's appointment and I was feeling a little full and I wanted to have Arlo have a bottle while we were out. So I just brought this with me. I wore it in the car on the way there. I pumped enough milk for 2 bottles and then like it just was nothing. I was able to do my makeup in the car while I had this in and I didn't even notice it at all. It's just truly hands-free, truly so convenient. I've also had people ask me about this in comparison to some of those cups that you can get for a traditional breast pump. And for those, they do make it hands-free like I described, having, you know, being able to walk around, but you still have the tubes coming out of the flanges. This is so great because you have no tubes. Like it's just an individual pump for the left side, an individual pump for the right side, and you just wear them like that. The second reason why I love this pump is because the bottles are reusable. So comparable pumps oftentimes don't have reusable bottles or reusable parts that come with it. You may have to buy a piece separately, or you may have to use bags and then you're paying for those bags, and then you end up also wasting a lot of plastic, or just it's not quite as much of an eco-friendly process. These bottles are BPA free, they're reusable, they come with the pump. So when you get the pump like this, the bottles that you're pumping into are the bottles that you can pour out of. I love that. You actually get 2 sets. So when you get the Elvie pump, you get 2 sets of flanges. So also you get a customizable fit. You can figure out which flange size fits you best. So you get 2 sets of flanges, 2 sets of the reusable bottles. So it just makes it a really easy experience. And then to pour it into the bottle or the bag or whatever you're storing in, you just pop the bottom off like this, and the top part is actually designed to just pour really seamlessly in like that. It is just such an easy experience using those. And then you also get caps for these reusable bottles. So in the past, sometimes I've also pumped into the bottles, and instead of pouring it into a storage bag or into a bottle, I just twist the cap on and I'll store this bottle in my fridge until we're ready to pour it into my baby's bottle and feed him. So the parts and the reusable bottles alone are reason number 2. Reason number 3 why I love the Elvie is because it's rechargeable and you get 2 chargers with it. So comparable pumps, I've heard that you only get 1 charger with it, or you have to add on additional chargers. That's an additional expense as you're checking out. With my traditional breast pump, like I mentioned, I would always need to make sure I had batteries with me, or I would need to make sure I had my wall charger with me, and then I was stationary and I couldn't move at all. With the Elvie, you get 2 chargers with it. So 2 cords that come with it. That way you can charge both sides at the same time, and it only takes 2 hours to fully charge these batteries. I also find that I can get at least 2 to 3 uses out of a battery before it starts to feel a little bit low, and that's when I just personally want to recharge it and make sure it's good to go. I've never actually used these until they've run completely dead because the charge lasts so long that I've never experienced that. But I have used them for 2 to 3 times before even getting a warning or even seeing that the battery is low at all. So typically my habit is that I will just pump, and then after every use or every other use, I'll just plug them into the wall and charge them, and it takes like no time. I love that too because, like I mentioned, the batteries or the wall charger on traditional pumps, it's just so much more setup, so much more prep, so much more you have to be aware of and be ready for. With the Elvie, if I'm like, oh, I need to pump in like 30 minutes, I can plug it in and get a really good charge in that amount of time and be good to go. Reason number 4 why I love Elvie is because of the corresponding app that comes with the pump. So when you get the pump, you download the app, you make an account, and you're able to keep track of all of your pumping sessions, to work the pump, to start it, to pause it, to keep track of your milk. I cannot tell you the amount of hours, literally hours, that I spent after my first pregnancy. I spent sitting on the ground manually counting the ounces of milk I had stored in my freezer. I'm able to quickly tell you today how many ounces I have in my freezer because my Elvie app tells me that's how many I have. So when you pump, you just bring up your app, you connect both sides of the pump through Bluetooth, and so it will tell you when it's connected, when it's not, and then you can hit start from your app right there. You can also pause, you can adjust the speed, you can adjust the suction, you can really customize the fit, again, like I mentioned before, but you can do it all from the app right there. So it really is hands-free, like you're already on your phone. You don't have to adjust any of those settings on the pump themselves, you just do them all from your phone. And after you're done pumping, when you're done with a session, it will give you an idea of how much. It might say like, oh, you pumped 3.5 on this side, 4 on this side, but you can actually adjust it to make sure it's completely accurate for what actually came out. And then it will keep track overall of your overall milk supply too. So it can let you know you have 90 ounces or however many you have in your freezer right then, or however many you've pumped over time with Elvie. I've gotten questions about how many ounces these reusable bottles hold. These hold 5 ounces, and I have pumped completely to 5 ounces before. The great thing about the app is that it will stop you. So it will actually alert you and say, hey, this side is full, so we're cutting you off. And then you can just stop, pull out, really quickly empty the bottle like I mentioned before, hook it back up and hit play. So I've done that before where I may have to empty the bottle because it's full, and then I just put it right back on and hit play, and the other side has been going the whole time, and it's still one whole session in my app that it's keeping track of. So even though each bottle only holds 5 ounces, it's not hard at all to just take a break, empty it, and rehook it back up. Previously with traditional pumps, I may pump like 7 ounces or so each time, and I don't feel that this is hindering me from doing that whatsoever. I still feel like I'm able to get a really good, full, complete pump out of this too. And then reason number 5 why I love Elvie is that it's a female technology brand. It is female founded, and I love supporting companies that, one, are female driven, that are female owned, but also that just serve a purpose and are looking to provide solutions to new moms and to moms out there. So Elvie was founded because the woman who created this product noticed a gap in the market. She wanted to give something like this to new moms. They also have other products out there, not just this pump. They have other products that are just designed to help our bodies feel stronger postpartum, help us easily get back into a healthy routine the way this pump does. But I just love everything that this company represents. I'm super proud to represent them myself, and it's a company that I feel really good about supporting too. Okay guys, so that's everything for today's Elvie video. Like I said, if you're interested in checking out the pump yourself, I'll have a link in the description box. Plus you can use my code Olivia15 to save 15% off your purchase now through the end of May with Elvie. Again, thank you so much to Elvie for working with me on this. I'm absolutely in love with my pump. I'm so grateful to have this game-changing product in my life, and you guys will love it too. It is an investment piece, but it is one that is well worth it. And if you are an exclusively pumping mom, or you're going to pump a lot, I would definitely say that investing in something like this will just be life-changing in terms of convenience. Like I said, I spent so much time sitting and pumping after my first pregnancy. It is definitely a commitment time-wise, so it's one that you want to invest in too. I hope you guys enjoyed this review video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.